Hello, welcome to market analysis for the week of September 14th to 18th. My name is Raman Gill. I'm the founder of the website tradingwithvenus.com. Just a quick disclaimer before we dive in. This is for educational purposes only. If you have questions about your individual investing needs, I recommend you talk to an investment advisor. In today's session, we will take a look at the economic news for the week. Then we'll dive into technical analysis and finally wrap things off with commitment of traders data. Let's dive in. For our economic calendar this week, we start the week off fairly light. The Asian session on Monday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, we have Australian dollar monetary policy meeting minutes, which will be important for the Australian dollar. And then we have Japanese yen monetary policy statement and Bank of Japan press conference. Again, if you're trading the Japanese yen, this is something very important to keep an eye out on. Going into Tuesday, in the European session, we have 4:30 a.m. We have British pound CPI number. Inflation has been holding at 0%. So keep an eye on this. If there's a positive or negative change in this number, that should impact the pound. We also have at 5 a.m., we have German ZEW economic sentiment coming out, which is important. At 8:30 a.m. into the New York session, we have core retail sales and retail sales number for the US dollar. And Empire State Manufacturing Index as well as at 9:15 a.m. we have capacity utilization rate. Again, these numbers talk to the state of the economy, so it's important numbers to keep an eye on. We also have GDT price index for the New Zealand dollar. Dairy prices are very, very important to the New Zealand economy, so this is an important data point if you're trading the New Zealand dollar. Going into Wednesday, we have average earnings index and claimant count change for pound. Anything negative for these numbers will have a negative impact on the British pound. We also have ZEW economic expectations for the Swiss franc and final CPI number and core CPI numbers for Europe. And then going into the New York session, we have Canadian dollar manufacturing sales month-over-month number, and again, inflation data, CPI numbers, and core CPI number for US dollars. At 6:45 p.m. New Zealand dollar, we have New Zealand GDP number coming out. Again, if you're trading the New Zealand dollar, this will be a very important number and market will be watching out for this number. Going into Thursday, things get really interesting. We have a Bank of Japan Governor Kuroda speaking. At 3:30 a.m., we have Swiss franc LIBOR rate and SNB monetary policy statement. This can create some fireworks in the market, so watch out for this. Going into the European session further in, we have 4:30 a.m. pound, we have retail sales. And 8:30 a.m. into the New York session, we have building permits and unemployment claims for the US dollar. We also have Philly Fed manufacturing index number coming out at 10 o'clock. And very interestingly, we have 2 p.m., we have FOMC economic projections, FOMC statement, federal funds rate, and FOMC press conference. Now, the market is not expecting the Fed to raise rates this month. However, if they don't raise rates this month, then they have less time towards the end of the year to raise the rates. There's no press conference in November, and December it will be hard to raise the rates because usually the tendency is we see sales kind of declining into the winter months. So it will become difficult for them to, going into the new year, into the Christmas season, raising rates at that time. So they have option of this. So this is a valid option of raising interest rates. Fed has been talking of raising interest rates for quite some time. They have worked themselves into this position. However, because of the mixed bag of data that we have seen out of the US just recently, and we have seen the global economic conditions that have not been too stable, Fed has been pushing back the interest rate hike. However, the numbers this summer were actually stronger than what they had been before. So the economy has been improving, even though the last couple of NFP number wasn't quite as strong. Overall, the numbers have been stronger. So overall state of the economy is positive. So this is a good point for them to raise interest rates. So the entire market will be watching what Fed has to say. They'll be watching the Fed and they'll be waiting for their decision. This could create a surprise in the market. So definitely keep an eye out for this number, or for this statement, sorry. Going into FOMC, we should see market consolidate. However, because there will be thin liquidity, we can see big moves in the market when this comes out. So if you have trades on, make sure you are protecting yourself. We also have at 7:30 p.m. on Thursday, RBA Governor Stevens speaking. Going into Friday, things quieten down quite a bit. We have core CPI number for Canadian dollar, and that's pretty much it for the rest of the session. Okay, let's move on to our technical analysis. Let's start things off with the euro here. This is a weekly chart that I'm looking at. In terms of the week, we had a really strong close. From technical perspective, that was a very strong candle close. And now, based on that, we'll be looking for a further move up. So we are bullish on euro here, and we can expect the price to go up. Some of the levels to watch out for would be this level right here, which is 1470 level, and then we can, if the price holds above this, we could see it go further up to test the highs here at 1714. However, if the price rejects here like it has rejected previously, we may see the market come back into this range that it has been trading for some time now. So we are looking for 1470, which is right here. And then if price holds above, we'll be looking for this 1714 or 1650 level right here, or 1714 here. If it bounces off of this level, we're looking for price to come down and back into this area, which is 1214, which was the previous daily range high. And further, we can potentially see it come down to this 110 number. Let's take a quick peek at the daily chart here. So again, this is where the price is right now. So this is the level, the 1470 level that we are watching out for based on our weekly support and resistance. And then we are looking at to the downside. If the price fails at this level, we'd be looking for it to come and test this 1214 area, and then further back into this into the bottom here, which is 1080. Let's move on to the British pound. In terms of the weekly chart, we saw a railroad reversal. This is very strong reversal. So if the price holds here, so this is an important level that the price is at right now. This 5,500 level here will be important for the pound. If it holds below this, we may see it come back and test the bottom again. We may see a rejection and then price move down. However, if it does hold this level, if it holds above this level, we may see the price go up towards this 5680 here and further up at 5814 area, which was the last high. So keep an eye out on that. If the 5,500 level is broken and the price holds above, we'd be looking for a move to the upside. Overall, in terms of a weekly technicals, this is a strong close, strong bullish close. So we'd be looking for a move to the upside. So we're bullish on neutral to bullish on the pound here, because it does have to hold below this. It's into the bottom of this range here and needs to hold inside the range for us to justify the move to the upside. And also another thing that may come into play here would be the US. Because of the Fed statement that's coming out later in the week, we may see some interesting moves driven by the US dollar strength or weakness. We may see more weakness in the US dollar, which may drive the market here. Or if the market changes the sentiment and starts expecting the Fed to raise interest rates, this week, then we could see strength coming into the US dollar. So be mindful of the play in the US dollar as you're looking at these pairs as well. Looking at the New Zealand dollar weekly chart here, we saw a rejection of the high here, and the price is, however, still holding in this range. If you can see here in the bottom, it's 62.50 area, and the top side here is 64.15 or even 64.20 area here. So that's the level that the price is holding. So we did see a rejection here. However, we haven't seen this range break. So we'll be looking for the range to break. This shows rejection. So based on the weekly technicals, would be looking for price to move lower. And we can see this bottom get tested again. And the level here is 61.22, so we may get the 61.22 level tested again. However, if it starts moving up, let's say the dairy prices are coming better than expected, so we may see the price move up to the upside here, and the top of the range here is 64.20. If it holds above the 64.20 level, then we're looking for price to come up higher into this range and start testing the highs here. Based on the daily chart, as we can see, last few days, last week it held this range. And again, we'd be treating it as a range-bound market. We'll be looking to sell at the top of the range here at 64.20, and we would be looking to buy at the bottom of the range here, which is 62.50 level. So those are a couple of the levels, and if it does go up, then next level we're looking at here is 6,500, and if that level holds, we'll be looking for it to come and test these highs. However, overall the sentiment is sideways. It's consolidating right now, and we could see it come down to the bottom based on the weekly technicals. We could see it come down and test the lows here. Okay, the Australian dollar has done well last week. We saw price test the former bottom here and come back up, and today we can see it's moving up. So this candle, the big red candle, did not get taken out. So even though it is positive, we will still stay neutral on this. So we will say neutral to bullish for Australian dollar. In terms of the daily closes, we saw a really nice morning star here and then move to the upside. Very nice daily closes, bullish closes. And now we have, as we can see on Friday, that was a bullish close as well. Rejection of this level here. 70.40 level, and now we are seeing the price move up. So the next level to keep an eye out for would be the bottom here, 72.10. This is the previous low here, so we'll be looking for the price to come and test this. And then further up we have the 72.60 level, which is the bottom of this range. So keep an eye out for these two levels for the price to move up and test these two levels. Let's take a look at the dollar CAD here. Dollar CAD has been trading in this range, and the price is coiling tighter and tighter here, as we can see this pennant forming. So we'll be looking for the price to break out of this range, and a lot of it may be driven by, we don't have a ton of news coming out for the Canadian dollar, so a lot of this move may be driven by the US dollar. So in terms of Canadian dollar, we are looking for a sideways move. Again, we'll be trading this as a range-bound market. 33.50 would be the selling point, and then we are looking at 31.80 as the bottom here. However, we may also see the move down to 31.20, which 31.20 would be our buy level, and 33.50 at this point would be our sell level. However, if it does break this high and hold above here, we may see a further move to the upside. Again, I think a lot of this will be a play of the US dollar strength or weakness as opposed to the Canadian dollar, with light flows of news coming out this week. Let's move on to our commitment of traders data now. So looking at this Euro US dollar commitment of traders data here, we have for the Euro, we see that the dealer position, long positions are going up, and leverage money as well as asset managers are increasing their short positions. This suggests bearish sentiment for the euro here, anytime we see an increase in dealer longs that and shorts in leveraged money, we look at a short position. So we'll be looking at market sentiment would be towards the short, would be bearish for euro here. Let's take a look at the pound. For the pound, we have seen dealer long positions going up and leverage money are decreasing their long positions and dealers are increasing their long positions. So this will be bearish for the pound as well. Taking a look at the Canadian dollar here. Canadian dollar, we have seen dealer long positions decreasing and leveraged money short positions decreasing, which would suggest Canadian dollar long. So keep an eye on that. New Zealand dollar. Okay, for the New Zealand dollar here, we see dealer long positions increasing and leveraged money short positions as well as asset manager short positions increasing, which would suggest a bearish sentiment for the New Zealand dollar. Okay, for Australian dollar here, we see dealer positions are fairly flat. We have seen leverage money positions go up and asset manager positions are fairly flat as well. So this would suggest a fairly neutral stance in terms of the Australian dollar and maybe slightly bullish. So keep an eye on that. So that's all that we have. Thank you very much for joining me today for the weekly market analysis. If you have any questions for me or if you are struggling to get consistently profitable in your trading, I invite you to have a call with me. I can help you break through some of those things that may be holding you back. Again, you can email me at raman@tradingwithvenus.com. Have a great trading week.